Imagine a man 78 years old. For 6 decades, he lived his life trying to be perfect. Every action measured, every word calculated. Every choice weighed against some imagined standard of flawlessness. He thought perfection would bring peace, respect, and happiness. But now, at 78, he looks back and sees 60 years wasted. Chasing an illusion. Perfection is an illusion that wastes time. From the moment we are born, we are told to strive for ideals, to reach for flawless results, to shape ourselves into something that pleases others. We are taught that perfection is admirable, that it is a goal worth pursuing. And so, we spend decades chasing it, measuring every action, polishing every word, and hiding every flaw. But perfection is not a reality. It is a mirage. It is a standard that moves constantly, a target that cannot be hit because it does not exist in the natural order of life. Life itself is imperfect. The seasons change without warning. People disappoint. Circumstances shift. Our bodies age. Nothing remains constant, and nothing can be perfect. Those who chase perfection are chasing something outside of their control, and any pursuit outside their control is a path to suffering. We may think we are improving ourselves, but if our focus is on being perfect, we are improving only the illusion, not our real character. Perfection demands the impossible. It demands that we never make mistakes, never speak out of turn, never feel anger or sadness, never fail in any way. But to demand that of ourselves is to deny the very nature of being human. Humans are not meant to be flawless. Humans are meant to experience life. And experience comes with error. Life is a process, not a performance. Those who seek perfection often delay action. They wait for the perfect moment to speak, the perfect opportunity to act, the perfect plan to unfold. But there is no perfect moment. Waiting for it is waiting for life to pass by. Perfection encourages procrastination because it convinces us that we are not yet ready, not yet enough, not yet worthy. Meanwhile, the world moves on. Days become months, months become years, and before long decades have gone by. Perfection blinds us to the beauty of the present. It teaches us to despise the small victories because they are not complete, to ignore progress because it is not absolute, to undervalue effort because it falls short of an impossible standard. The pursuit of perfection creates fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of being seen as less than ideal. And fear is the enemy of action, the enemy of growth, the enemy of joy. People live in this fear without realizing it, shaping their lives around avoidance rather than engagement. They choose safety over experience, caution over courage, polish over authenticity. Every day spent chasing perfection is a day spent away from what truly matters. Character, wisdom, virtue, and meaningful relationships are built in the imperfections, not in flawless execution. It is in our errors that we learn patience, humility, and resilience. It is in facing criticism that we learn confidence and self-reliance. It is in struggling against challenges that we discover courage and perseverance. Perfection offers none of these lessons because it shields us from reality. It encourages us to hide, to pretend, to censor ourselves, to live in a shadow of what could be rather than embracing what is. And in the end, those who chase perfection may find themselves older, experienced in nothing but worry and self-restraint, having avoided the messy, unpredictable, and beautiful reality of life. Life is a gift, and every moment of it is precious. Time spent on illusions of perfection is time stolen from living authentically, from making choices that matter, from connecting with others, and from building a life of substance. The pursuit of perfection asks us to surrender the richness of existence for the emptiness of image. The only path to freedom and peace is to accept imperfection, to act courageously, to embrace mistakes, and to focus on what is within our control. Understanding that perfection is not the goal, but growth and virtue heuristics are essential for growth and wisdom. Without them, life would be shallow and understanding would be weak. Every human who has ever learned something meaningful has done so by failing first. Yet many people fear mistakes as if they are enemies. They avoid them, hide them, and punish themselves for them. This fear does not protect them, it limits them. A mistake is not proof of weakness, it is proof of action. Only those who act can fail, and only those who fail can learn. To reject mistakes is to reject experience, and to reject experience is to reject life itself. From a Stoic view, mistakes are part of nature. Nothing in nature grows in a straight line. Trees bend in storms. Rivers change course when blocked. Even the strongest structures are shaped by pressure. Humans are no different. Wisdom is not given freely. It is earned through struggle, reflection, and correction. A person who has never made a mistake has never tested their limits, never questioned their beliefs, never refined their judgment. Such a person may appear calm, but inside they are unprepared. Many people confuse mistakes with failure. Failure is not falling short. Failure is refusing to learn. When a mistake is met with honesty and reflection, it becomes a teacher. It shows where judgment was weak, where emotion took control, where preparation was lacking. This knowledge cannot be gained through theory alone. Reading, listening, and observing help. But they do not replace lived experience. A burned hand understands fire better than any book ever could. Mistakes also build humility. They remind us that we are not all-knowing and not in full control. This humility is not weakness, it is clarity. When we accept that we can be wrong, we become more open, more patient, and more willing to improve. A person who believes they must always be right becomes rigid and defensive. A person who accepts mistakes becomes adaptable and wise. Adaptability is one of the greatest strengths a human can possess. Wisdom grows when emotion is separated from error. Many suffer not because they made a mistake, but because they attach shame to it. Shame clouds judgment and blocks learning. The Stoic approach is simple. Observe the mistake, correct the behavior, and move forward. There is no need for self-hatred or endless regret. The past cannot be changed, but the next action can always be improved. Mistakes also teach resilience. When life does not go as planned, those who have faced errors before remain steady. They know that pain passes, that correction is possible, and that failure is not the end. Those who have avoided mistakes often crumble at the first sign of difficulty. Strength is not built in comfort, it is built in challenge. To grow in wisdom, one must allow room for error. This does not mean acting carelessly, but acting courageously. It means understanding that even with good intentions and careful thought, outcomes are never guaranteed. What matters is the effort to act with reason, integrity, and discipline. When mistakes occur, they are not signs to retreat, but signals to adjust. A life without mistakes may look clean on the surface, but it is empty underneath. Growth requires friction. Wisdom requires experience, and experience is shaped by mistakes. Accepted calmly, examined honestly, and used to guide better choices forward. Happiness comes from controlling what is within your power. Most suffering begins when people try to control what does not belong to them. They try to control outcomes, other people's opinions, past events, and the future. These efforts drain the mind and weaken the spirit because they fight against reality. The Stoic way is simple and practical. It teaches that peace is not found by shaping the world to your desires, but by shaping your responses to the world. When you understand what is truly within your control, life becomes lighter and clearer. What is within your power is limited but strong. Your thoughts, your judgments, your intentions, and your actions belong to you. No one can force you to think a certain way. No one can steal your values unless you hand them over. Even in hardship, you still own the choice of how to respond. This is where true freedom lies. A person who masters their inner world cannot be defeated by external chaos. Most people chase happiness in external things: money, praise, success, approval, and comfort. These things come and go without warning. When happiness depends on them, it becomes fragile. The mind becomes anxious, always waiting, always fearing loss. But when happiness is rooted in what you control, it becomes steady. You may lose possessions, status, or opportunities, but you do not lose yourself. Control does not mean forcing emotions away. It means observing them without being ruled by them. Anger may arise, but you decide whether to act on it. Fear may appear, but you decide whether it guides your choices. Sadness may visit, but you decide how long it stays. This discipline takes practice, not perfection. Each moment offers a chance to respond with reason instead of impulse. When people fail to separate control from desire, they become frustrated. They work hard and expect specific results. When those results do not come, they feel cheated by life, but effort does not guarantee outcome. Only intention and action are yours. Once this is accepted, disappointment loses its grip. You act because it is right, not because it promises reward. This mindset builds resilience. When setbacks occur, you do not collapse. You review your actions, adjust your approach, and move forward. There is no need for bitterness. The world did not betray you. It simply followed its nature. You remain calm because your peace was never placed in the outcome. People often confuse control with indifference. It is not about caring less. It is about caring wisely. You invest energy where it matters and release what does not serve you. You stop arguing with reality. You stop needing validation. You stop replaying the past. This creates space for clarity and purpose. A person who understands control lives with intention. They speak honestly without needing approval. They act with courage without needing certainty. They accept loss without resentment. This is not weakness. It is strength refined by wisdom. Happiness grows quietly in this discipline. It is not loud or dramatic. It is stable and grounded. It does not depend on luck or circumstance. It is earned through self-mastery, practiced daily, strengthened by reflection, and protected by understanding that the only true power you have is how you think, how you choose, and how you act. Fear of judgment stops people from truly living. Many lives are shaped not by personal values but by imagined opinions. People hold back words, hide emotions, delay dreams, and soften their true nature because they fear how they will be seen. This fear is subtle yet powerful. It quietly controls decisions, influences behavior, and slowly steals authenticity. When judgment becomes the guide, life becomes a performance rather than an experience. Most judgment exists only in the mind. People assume others are watching closely, analyzing every move, remembering every mistake. In reality, most people are too occupied with their own struggles and insecurities. Even when judgment does occur, it is temporary and often inaccurate. Opinions change quickly. Yet many sacrifice years of their lives to avoid a moment of criticism. The Stoic view teaches that other people's opinions are outside your control. You can act with integrity and still be judged unfairly. You can act foolishly and still be praised. Judgment does not measure truth or worth. It reflects the perspective, mood, and values of the observer. To place your peace in the hands of others is to give away your freedom. Fear of judgment creates hesitation. People wait for permission that never comes. They delay action until they feel approved. But approval is unreliable and often comes too late. Life rewards courage, not permission. The cost of waiting is time, and time is the one thing that cannot be recovered. This fear also disconnects people from themselves. They begin to live according to expectations rather than principles. Over time, they forget what they truly want. They confuse acceptance with happiness and silence with peace. But silence born from fear is not peace. It is suppression. Judgment loses its power when values are clear. When a person knows what they stand for, opinions become background noise. Criticism may sting, but it does not control direction. Praise may feel good, but it does not dictate behavior. The focus shifts inward, toward character and intention. Many fear judgment because they fear rejection. But rejection is not always loss. Sometimes it is clarity. It reveals where alignment does not exist. Trying to be liked by everyone leads to a life that belongs to no one, not even yourself. Living without fear of judgment does not mean being careless or disrespectful. It means being honest and intentional. It means choosing virtue over popularity. It means acting in line with reason rather than impulse or approval. Those who overcome this fear experience freedom. They speak when truth is needed. They act when action is required. They rest when rest is necessary. They stop shrinking themselves to fit small spaces. Fear of judgment fades when reality is accepted. People will judge no matter what you do. Silence invites judgment. Action invites judgment. Success invites judgment. Failure invites judgment. Since judgment is unavoidable, the only rational choice is to live according to your values. A life guided by courage may not always be comfortable, but it is honest. And honesty builds inner peace. When you no longer live to be seen a certain way, you finally begin to live as you are. Time is the most valuable resource. Don't waste it. Everything else in life can be replaced or regained to some degree. Money can return. Status can rise again. Possessions can be rebuilt. But time moves in one direction only. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever. Yet people spend time as if it is unlimited, giving it away to distractions, regrets, and meaningless pursuits. They protect their money carefully but allow their days to slip through their hands without thought. From a Stoic perspective, time is life itself. To waste time is not a small mistake, it is to waste the substance of existence. Every hour spent in worry about the past or fear of the future is an hour stolen from living. The past is fixed and untouchable. The future is uncertain and outside control. Only the present moment is real, and it is the only place where action and choice exist. Many people delay living. They tell themselves they will start later, when conditions are better, when they feel more confident, when life becomes easier. But later is a promise that often goes unfulfilled. Days turn into years quietly, without warning. One day, people look back and realize they have spent more time preparing to live than actually living. Time is also wasted in resentment. Holding on to anger, replaying insults, and clinging to old wounds consume mental energy without producing value. These emotions do not punish the past, they poison the present. The Stoic approach is not to deny pain, but to release attachment to it. Letting go is not forgetting. It is choosing not to sacrifice today for something that can no longer be changed. Distraction is another thief of time. Endless consumption of noise, information, and entertainment fills hours without fulfilling the mind. These habits create the illusion of rest while leaving emptiness behind. Rest should restore strength and clarity, not numb awareness. When time is filled without intention, life feels busy but unproductive. Time gains value when used with purpose. Purpose does not require grand achievements. It is found in small, deliberate actions done with care. Speaking honestly, acting fairly, learning continuously, improving character. These choices shape a life of substance. The Stoic does not rush, but does not delay. Urgency exists without panic. Awareness replaces anxiety. Each day is treated as a complete unit, not a rehearsal for a future that may never arrive. Living fully today does not mean reckless pleasure. It means meaningful engagement. When death is remembered, time becomes clearer, not in fear, but in focus. The awareness of mortality sharpens judgment. It helps separate what matters from what does not. Trivial concerns lose power. Meaningful actions gain importance. Those who respect time choose carefully how they spend it. They limit what drains energy. They prioritize what strengthens character. They accept that life is short and act accordingly. Not with despair, but with gratitude and discipline. Time does not wait for readiness or perfection. It moves regardless of hesitation. To live wisely is to meet time with intention, presence, and courage, knowing that each moment used well is a moment truly lived. Real life is found in experience, not flawless appearances. Many people spend their days managing how they look instead of how they live. They polish their image, filter their words, and hide their struggles to appear complete and successful. This focus on appearance creates distance from reality. Life becomes something to display, rather than something to feel. When attention is placed on looking right instead of living right, experience is sacrificed for illusion. Appearances are fragile. They depend on approval, trends, and circumstances that constantly change. A person who builds their identity on appearance must keep defending it. One mistake, one failure, or one moment of honesty can threaten the entire image. This creates anxiety and self-censorship. Instead of responding naturally to life, people respond strategically, always asking how they will be seen rather than what is right. Stoic thought values substance over surface. What matters is not how calm someone appears, but whether they are calm inside. Not how successful they look, but whether they act with integrity. Experience shapes character. Appearances only shape perception. Perception fades, but character remains. When people avoid experience to protect appearances, growth stops. They avoid challenges that might expose weakness. They avoid honesty that might disrupt harmony. They avoid risks that might lead to failure. In doing so, they avoid life itself. Comfort replaces courage. Safety replaces discovery. The days become predictable but empty. Experience brings discomfort but also wisdom. It teaches patience through difficulty and gratitude through loss. It exposes limits and expands understanding. A person who lives fully has stories shaped by effort and lessons shaped by struggle. These experiences build resilience and depth. No appearance can replace this. Social comparison fuels the obsession with appearance. People measure their worth against curated images and selective successes. This comparison is unfair and misleading. It compares private reality to public display. The result is dissatisfaction and self-doubt. Real life cannot compete with edited versions of reality, and it should not try. Living through experience requires courage. It means accepting that mistakes will be visible and imperfections will be seen. It means choosing action over image and truth over comfort. This choice brings freedom. When appearance no longer controls behavior, energy is released for growth and connection. The Stoic approach encourages alignment between inner values and outer actions. When actions reflect values, appearance becomes irrelevant. There is no need to maintain a mask when life is lived honestly. Simplicity replaces performance. Presence replaces anxiety. Those who prioritize experience over appearance build a life that feels real. They are not perfect, but they are grounded. They may not impress everyone, but they respect themselves. They learn directly from life, rather than observing it from a safe distance. A life shaped by experience may include scars, failures, and unfinished chapters. These are not flaws to hide, they are evidence of engagement. They show that time was used, choices were made, and life was lived rather than displayed. Focus on virtue, courage, and integrity over approval. Many people unknowingly live their lives seeking permission. They adjust their behavior to be liked, soften their opinions to avoid conflict, and silence their truth to maintain acceptance. Approval becomes the measure of success, and without it, confidence collapses. This way of living places power in the hands of others and leaves the self weak and uncertain. Stoic wisdom teaches that approval is unreliable and fleeting. It rises and falls based on mood, trend, and convenience. A person praised today can be criticized tomorrow for the same actions. To build a life on approval is to build on unstable ground. Virtue, on the other hand, is steady. It does not depend on applause. It depends on reason, choice, and moral clarity. Virtue is not abstract. It is practiced in daily decisions. It appears in honesty when lying would be easier. It appears in restraint when anger feels justified. It appears in fairness when advantage is available. These moments often go unnoticed by others, but they shape character deeply. Approval rewards surface behavior. Virtue strengthens the core. Courage is required to live this way. Acting with integrity often means standing alone. It may invite misunderstanding or resistance. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is action guided by reason despite fear. Without courage, virtue remains a theory. With courage, it becomes a way of life. Integrity binds actions to values. It is consistency between what one believes and what one does. When integrity is strong, external opinions lose influence. There is no need to constantly explain or defend oneself. Actions speak quietly but clearly. A person with integrity sleeps well not because life is easy, but because conscience is clear. Seeking approval creates inner conflict. The mind becomes divided between what is believed and what is displayed. Over time, this division causes dissatisfaction and confusion. People lose respect for themselves when they betray their values, even if others applaud them. Self-respect cannot be borrowed from others, it must be earned through alignment. The Stoic path values internal standards over external reactions. The question shifts from "do they like me?" to "did I act well?" This shift brings clarity and strength. When the goal is virtue, outcomes become secondary. Praise becomes pleasant but unnecessary. Criticism becomes informative but not destructive. Living by virtue does not guarantee comfort or success. It guarantees steadiness. It creates a foundation that remains firm in both praise and blame. A virtuous person is not flawless, but they are sincere. When mistakes occur, they are corrected honestly rather than hidden. Over time, those who live with courage and integrity gain something deeper than approval. They gain trust, not always from others but from themselves. This trust creates inner freedom. Decisions become simpler. Regret lessens. Life feels grounded and intentional. A life guided by virtue may be quieter, but it is strong. It does not chase recognition. It does not fear isolation. It moves forward with purpose, anchored in values that cannot be taken away by opinion or circumstance. Embrace imperfection and live fully in the present. Many people postpone living because they believe they must first become better, stronger, or more complete. They wait until they feel ready, confident, or flawless. This waiting creates distance from life. The present moment passes quietly while attention is fixed on an imagined future version of the self. But life does not pause for preparation. It unfolds now, imperfect and unfinished. Imperfection is not a flaw in life. It is its natural state. Everything that grows does so through uneven progress. Strength develops through strain. Wisdom develops through error. Calm develops through disturbance. To demand perfection before participation is to misunderstand the nature of growth. The Stoic approach does not reject imperfection, it accepts it without surrendering discipline. Living in the present does not mean ignoring responsibility or consequence. It means meeting reality as it is, without resistance or fantasy. The present is the only place where choice exists. Regret lives in the past. Anxiety lives in the future. Both steal attention from the only moment that can be shaped. When attention returns to now, clarity increases and unnecessary suffering fades. Many avoid the present because it feels uncomfortable. It exposes uncertainty, vulnerability, and limits. Distraction becomes an escape. Constant planning, remembering, or consuming numbs awareness. But numbness is not peace. Peace comes from engagement, from facing life directly without excessive judgment. Imperfection invites compassion toward the self. When flaws are accepted, growth becomes possible. Harsh self-criticism weakens effort. Honest self-observation strengthens it. The Stoic does not excuse poor behavior but corrects it without cruelty. Improvement begins with clarity, not punishment. To live fully means to act even when conditions are not ideal. It means speaking despite uncertainty, trying despite risk, and choosing despite incomplete information. Waiting for certainty leads to inaction. Action guided by reason builds confidence through experience. Presence sharpens awareness. Simple moments gain meaning. Conversations become deeper. Work becomes more focused. Rest becomes restorative. When attention is scattered, life feels rushed and thin. When attention is centered, even ordinary moments feel complete. Fear of imperfection often hides a fear of failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Avoiding failure avoids growth. Embracing imperfection allows movement. Movement creates learning. Learning creates strength. The Stoic accepts limits without resignation. Not everything can be controlled, fixed, or perfected. This acceptance reduces struggle. Energy is redirected toward effort and intention rather than outcome. A present-focused life is not loud or dramatic, it is steady and grounded. It values depth over speed and sincerity over display. Imperfection no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes a companion on the path of living honestly, deliberately, and fully.